The conflict in Sabah has resulted in dozens of casualties, both from the Filipino gunmen claiming ownership of the Malaysian state to Malaysian forces. And CCTV's Barnaby Lo reports it has also altered the lives of thousands of innocent civilians, many of them Filipinos.
They sailed for almost 24 hours. More than 200 Filipinos crowded in this cargo vessel, fleeing the violence between a group of Filipino rebels and Malaysian forces in Sabah. Among them was 32-year-old Nur Sabah, who had lived in Sabah for more than 10 years. It was the only home her 6 children had ever known. But as Malaysian authorities continued to hunt the followers of the Sulu Sultan claiming ownership of the island, Nur and her husband decided to leave everything behind.
We had just enough money to take the trip back to the Philippines, but now we have nothing left.
Thousands of Filipinos have arrived here in southern Philippines from Sabah since violent clashes between Filipino gunmen and Malaysian forces began. But that may just be the beginning of what appears to be a growing humanitarian crisis, as thousands more Filipinos may very well have fled Sabah and are on their way here.
We expect them to be unemployed, they will have to find shelter, they will have to find a living. Where do we get our, how do we send them to school?
Precisely the question these evacuees have. Sulu remains one of the poorest provinces in the Philippines. And it's this life of poverty that has driven hundreds of thousands of Filipinos, many of them undocumented, to move to neighboring Sabah. Now, they've become refugees in their own country.
We had no choice. We were already being caught in the crossfire, and we had lost our jobs. We couldn't even leave without fear of being shot at by Malaysian forces.
A fear that many of these evacuees share. Allegations of abuse on Filipino civilians in Sabah that Malaysian authorities have denied. And as the conflict rages in Sabah, there is a growing call for an end to the hostilities, for peace and security to prevail on both sides of the Sulu Sea. Barnaby Lo, CCTV, Sulu, Southern Philippines.